Let me tell you about the night 3 cop cars lit up the dock like a bad scene from a B-movie, sirens screaming. Red and blue lights ricocheting off the bay. Angry shadows twisting over the water. There's this woman, all decked out in fuchsia like she owns the color. Platinum hair, and a voice so sharp you could slice bread with it. She's pointing at this guy on the dock, not yelling. Not moving. Just standing there holding some little remote and a phone. Like he's waiting for a pizza. Not a posse of angry suburbanites and half the county police. She's screeching. That man is trespassing on HOA property. I want him arrested now. And you can just tell this is someone who's never heard the word no in her entire life. But the cop closest to her, you can see him shift. A little sideways. Like maybe he's thinking, is this really my job? He's seen plenty of neighbor feuds. Probably more than he cares to remember. But something about tonight has his nerves up. And it's not just the lady with the manicure from hell. Because the guy on the dock, he's not playing the usual game. No begging. No shouting. No, I know my rights. Just calm. Like a man who's been through worse than a HOA temper tantrum. He raises his hand and says, "Officer, before you cuff me, maybe you want to see what's at the bottom of that water." The deputy gives him a look, and I mean, you ever see someone trying not to roll their eyes? That's the look. But he humors him, walks over, glances at the guy's phone, and all the color drains from his face. "What the hell is that?" he asks. The guy, let's call him Beckett, he just smiles. Not smug, not cocky, just like a man who's been waiting for this exact moment. That, officer, is about 300 tons of construction waste, dumped in federal waters. And I got a pretty good idea who did it. You want to know how we got there? Let me back up a sec. Because 3 days before, there was just a pickup truck rolling down a coastal road. The sort of stretch where the ocean is so close you can taste the salt on your lips. The truck pulls up to a lodge that hasn't seen a coat of paint in a decade. And out steps this guy, boots worn. Jacket older than some of the houses around here. Eyes fixed on the water. He hasn't been back in 15 years. The last time he was here, he was hauling his brother's body out of the sea. You ever lose someone and feel it every time you breathe? Yeah, that happened. The lodge came to him in a poker game now. Really. Old man Roscoe. Nothing left to lose. Slid the deed across the table and said, "Beat me." Turns out Roscoe had been watching Beckett. Saw something in his eyes. Maybe recognized the same grief. 6 months later, Roscoe's gone. And Beckett inherits a slice of the world he hasn't visited since everything changed. But when he finally returns, the place is different. There's a brand new gate with cameras and a flashing LED sign, Coral Ridge Estates. HOA members only. He checks the GPS, double-checks his deed. This is still his land. So he hits the intercom, says who he is, and gets told to turn around or the cops are coming. And that's when he meets the woman in fuchsia, Cordelia Ashworth Vale, HOA president for 14 straight years. She steps out of her golf cart with the kind of confidence you only get from steamrolling every person who ever stood in your way. "You must be the poker winner," she says, smiling like she's sizing up a dog for the pound. She tells him his land is now community property, gives him 48 hours to get lost, then threatens him with, "I kid you not, the spirits of the coastline." You ever notice it's always the people with the biggest bank accounts who start talking about destiny when you push back? Beckett. He doesn't argue. He just memorizes every word, every detail. Years in maritime fraud taught him the people who ran about spirits are usually just following a different kind of master. He sneaks past the gate, knows every shortcut from Summers as a kid, and what he sees hits him like a punch. A $2 million marina built right on his land. Surveillance cameras pointed at his lodge. And a slide-closed sign on the old water slide he and his brother used to ride 100 times a day. Something in him clicks over. Not sadness. Not fear. Just that quiet kind of anger that settles in your bones. He starts documenting everything, photos, videos, the whole 9 yards. That night, as the wind rattles the windows, he finds the deed clause, submerged land rights, 200 feet out, which means every single dock, every slip, every inch of that marina belongs to him. Out of the shadows comes a woman carrying a cardboard box. eyes darting like she's smuggling state secrets. Rosalind Fairchild, HOA treasurer. And before you ask, I'm not here to give you another violation. She's shaking. I've watched Cordelia destroy 14 families in 8 years. I'm tired of being complicit. They sit in his truck, sharing secrets by the light of a phone. She opens the box, emails, double accounting books, records of fines, recordings 2 years of dirt. Why risk it? Beckett asks. Rosalind swallows. Because she's my mother, and I'm done watching her destroy people. That's your twist. By the way, the villain's own daughter, turning state's witness. Turns out Cordelia's spiritual turn isn't just for show. She's fallen in with a group called the Lunar Sovereignty Circle, led by a fraud named Seraphine Hollowell, a woman with more aliases than most criminals have parking tickets. And there's a contract for $8 million to Cordelia for exclusive sand extraction rights from under the bay. But here's the kicker, she doesn't have the rights. Beckett does. That's what all this was about. Get him out. Make the deal. Cash the check. Leave the mess behind. Day 2. They cut his power. The utility company says it's an HOA compliance issue. So he fires up the generator and calls in a favor from an old agency contact, Martinez. He needs a background check on Seraphine. The answer? Give me 24 hours. Next morning, the cops are back. This time, Cordelia's filed complaints, trespassing, threats, forged deed. Beckett calmly dials the county recorder on speaker, makes the deputy listen as the clerk says. No disputes. Clean title. Registered to Beckett Merriweather. The deputy looks at Cordelia's paperwork like it just sprouted horns. That night, at the emergency HOA meeting, the room is packed. Seraphine is there. Lavender hair. Silk robes. The whole Oracle act. Cordelia calls Beckett an energy blockage. Seraphine tries to silence him. But Beckett's done playing games. He asks about permits for the marina. No one can produce a single one. He drops the bomb. Seraphine's fraud convictions in 2 states. A judge tries to throw Beckett out. But the deputy stands his ground. Cordelia lets the vote go through anyway. They think they've won. But Beckett's recorded everything. The next night, Martinez's email lands. Seraphine is Sandra Polk, half-sister to the CEO of Triton Coastal Development. Running land grabs up and down the coast. Millions stolen. Whole communities gutted. Cordelia's just another pawn. The real con is being played by Sandra and her brother, using spiritual guidance as cover. Beckett launches his drone, scans the bay, and there it is. Ton after ton of construction waste. Dumped for years. Labels visible: Coral Ridge, Triton Coastal, federal crime. Open and shut. He copies the evidence 3 ways. Calls Martinez. I need the team in 48 hours. They're escalating. Morning. Cordelia's muscle tries to condemn the lodge. Beckett points out only the county can do that. Deputy Croy shows up with proof. The HOA's violation forms are fake. The badges even faker. People start flipping, spilling secrets. That night, Cordelia plays her last card-edited texts. Wild accusations on Facebook. A rock through Beckett's window. He meets in secret with Winona Blackett, the oldest resident, who brings the original survey maps. The evidence is overwhelming. More neighbors come forward, tired of living in fear, ready to testify. The final HOA meeting is standing room only. Cordelia's at the podium, ready to ban Beckett forever, but he walks in with the FBI and the sheriff. The agents serve warrants. Shut the place down. Seraphine tries her Oracle routine, but the FBI agent lists her aliases, convictions, wire transfers. Cordelia realizes, right there in front of everyone, that she was never special, just the perfect target for someone else's scam. The fallout is biblical. The judge is questioned. Cordelia collapses. Neighbors come forward. And Sandra, the fake Oracle, gets hauled off in cuffs. Beckett's evidence blows the whole thing open. Environmental crimes. Fraud. RICO charges. Cordelia gets jail time. Sandra gets 15 years. Triton's assets are seized for cleanup. And the marina's fate hangs in the balance. 3 days later, Winona is interim president. The new proposal? Lease the marina from Beckett for $1 a year, with strict environmental rules and restoration funds. He agrees. My brother loved this water. He says he'd want people to enjoy it and protect it. For once, everyone is on the same side. The bay heals. Families come back. Kids ride the water slide. The laughter returns, echoing across the water where Sterling once laughed. 2. One day, a letter arrives from Cordelia, writing from prison not for forgiveness, but for understanding. She sees now how she was used, how power and purpose twisted her into something unrecognizable, how she failed her own daughter. Beckett stands at the dock. His brother's watch on his wrist stopped at the hour Sterling died, a reminder that some things aren't meant to be fixed, only carried. So what do you think? Was justice served? Or was Cordelia just another victim, caught in a bigger game? Drop your thoughts below. Have you ever faced someone who hid behind rules or destiny to hurt others? Tell your story. Let's talk about what real community and real justice looks like. And if this hit home, share it. Someone else might need to hear it today.